I haven't slept. I just watched the whole thing.
Welcome to EFRA'S Mind.
The last 9 hours of my life have virtually just been suffering, pain, and brutality. It's awesome.
Everybody loved it.
It's awesome, but it also takes away your will to live.
Oh god.
You literally, I didn't want to exist, bro.
30 seconds.
Why did they kill the cop?
EFRA, stop.
He was my favorite character. Spoiler alert. That's what they do, right, in the proper reviews.
30 seconds start now.
So, Squid is this game, basically. Squid Game. It's this thing where, like, this bunch of rich people, yeah? It's like the Hunger Games, but way more brutal and fucked. Because no one knows how to fight here. And everyone's really, really poor, struggling. And the only thing that they're willing... Like basically, the world has just kicked them in the gut and then ripped their balls out. No one has any sort of will to continue. And then this sort of evil person provides you an opportunity to win about 45 billion won. And that's it. That's the game, and it's fucked. You're all, all of you people. You make you attached to someone, yeah, and you think, oh, actually, she could be the one, because you think this series is messed up enough to kill its protagonist.
Yes.
Jihan from Sangbong. I think it's like a town.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he always says that. I don't know why. It's like Efra from Carabobo, you know. Absolute. You took away everything I had for. I had, that was the only thing I had to hold for. And then right at the end, stabbed by an accidental explosion of glass. Gone. Then you have Chang Song-woo. He can suck my pee-pee. He is an absolute brutal animal. He is basically, the cool thing about this series is that what you're starting to see is what would actually happen in a realistic environment if everyone at their lowest point in their life were to be brought into a facility and be basically put against each other in order to win the one thing that has put them in a disadvantage against society.
Which is money.
And these people are usually all in debt, have some sort of legal issues, and they have no other way but to resort to putting their life on the line.
All right.
And this sort of people that are very wealthy, the same way you bet and people become obsessed with betting on horses or like, you know, those like
So
dogs
this is
that
done
race.
for their entertainment.
It's absolutely for their entertainment. That's the big turning point of the plot. But let me take you through the whole thing. Now, in these games, it's like kind of like the Hunger Games, but it's made for the entertainment of the rich. Kind of similar as well concepts. It's not a new concept really.
Okay.
But it's the best executed out of all the, because I've seen movies like this before, like series like this before.
All right.
This is the best executed concept. You are a horse. You are a horse that they bet on. That's essentially what you become.
God,
The
that's
only
brutal.
thing that they establish is number one rule is equality. Absolute equality. Everyone's the same. There's no edge. No one has an edge. Of course, this is an illusion because there's always going
to be somebody stronger, somebody bigger, somebody smarter, somebody...
Well, there's gonna be a winner.
Yeah.
What happens when you put them in a game, and this game is morbid. This series is all morbid. That's probably the best way to describe it. And you put them in a series of children's games that are very popular in Korea, like green light, red light. Now the problem is in this game, the way you lose is you get eliminated, and that essentially means death. You get shot. Plenty of death here. Now the first game, that first scene where they play the first game, red light, green light, whatever it's called, and everyone realizes the magnitude and the severity of the consequences if you lose a children's game. Havoc and panic, and sort of begins, and that's the realization that people then make of, holy shit, what did we get ourselves into? But then the series does something really good. It takes it all away. If everyone decides not to play, the majority decides not to play, the games are over and you go home. There's no money unless people die. Each person represents 100 million won. So every time someone dies, there's money being put in this huge piggy bank at the top of the room. That's a big reminder of what you're working towards. Chang Sang-woo, he's not a villain. He's a normal person. That necessity and life turns him into absolute pure darkness. Okay. And he gives into that side of him in order to win and fix his life for his family. Yeah, so it's a very twisted and absolutely horrible, it's horse shit, I don't want to live anymore type of series that after, it was 4:30 in the morning, and I'm sort of just sitting there, like, these absolute pricks. Who would want to make something like this?
Yeah.
Why did they, you know? It's like that, so, fucking horrible. It's a horrible series. It doesn't, it's absolutely, mate, but it's so well executed. Okay, so here are the main characters, right? So you have Chang So-woo, he's kind of the villain. Jun-woo, he is an undercover cop. Then there's Ali, who he is from Pakistan. Sambyuk, that's the girl. I think you pronounce it Jono like that. Where his brother has gone missing because he received the card. The red guards, there's like triangle guards, circle guards, and square guards, and there's the front man.
The front man speaking.
He turns out to be the fucking brother of the undercover cop.
How?
I don't fucking know that. I didn't understand that. Like, that bit didn't make any sense to me. One of the biggest characters in the series is this old person. His name is Il Nam. I remember his name straight away. The protagonist, Jihan, he's 456. Ali's death and Sambyuk's death, that hurt me like a fucking... It destroyed my heart. It took everything away from me. And I literally, in episode 8, I just sat there and I was...
I don't want this anymore.
I don't cry, and I didn't cry, but I think I should have cried. I think it would have done me good, you know? Ali is the best character of that fucking thing. I love Ali. He is such a nice fella. Just lives him like a truck. He's him like an absolute truck, and he's learning Korean. He doesn't really understand much Korean. He doesn't know the ways, you know, and he doesn't know any of the games because they're Korean games.
Yeah.
And he's very nice, very strong, very useful member of the team. But then they split up to go into pairs, and Sang-woo betrays him. He swaps out the marbles for pebbles, and he tells him, let's split up, there's other ways we can win this. He tricks him, and then he gets shot and killed. The second game is like they have to get these cookies. They has 4 shapes: a circle, a triangle, a star, and an umbrella. Now, then what you have to do, you're given a needle, and you have to carve out the shape. If you break the inside, though, you get shot. The actual shape, you get shot. Some people figure out ways of doing it, like one of them sneaked in a lighter. What the protagonist, Jihan, he finds out that if you lick it, the shape, the carved out shape, it's made of different density than the one outside. So the saliva will help melt the outside, and then you will just get left with the shape, whatever you did. Obviously, if you chose the umbrella, you're fucked. If you chose the star, you're fucked. If you chose the circle, good luck. The easiest one is a triangle. So there were people that kind of knew what the game was going to be, because this guy, Sang-woo, the villain, he's very smart. He's very, very smart. And he's in like 6 billion won debt because of fraud. Then the last game, which is absolutely fucking mad, is the Squid Game. The Squid Game is this. You have these shapes on the floor. There is an attacker and a defender.
Okay.
The defender has to prevent the attacker from passing through a little line that they make on the floor to reach the top of the squid, basically the circle. If he steps past that line, I think that's how it goes. If he steps past that line, Squid Game is over. The attacker won. You don't get to switch roles never. If you chose attacker, you chose defender, you stay like that. Now, the defender, you know, is protecting the line, and this game gets the most violent and physical. It's basically a battle. You're fighting.
You're fighting face to face.
Yeah, and whoever, the other way to win is if the other person's incapable of continuing, means death. At this point, though, you've seen what Sang-woo's turned into. He has given into his complete darkness, and there's no way back for him. No way. That he is the devil. He made a pact with the devil, and Jihan has seen the only person who he saw also to have humanity be murdered by Sang-woo, which is the girl, Sambyuk. Take jiu-jitsu classes, people. That game would have been over fucking 30-second roll, really. And he didn't even have to kill him, just choke him out and it's fine. But in this fucking moment, anyways. But they fight and it's horrible. He gets stabbed in the hand, the leg, stomach. It's fucking absolutely horrendous. And Jihan wins. The torment and the angst and going through hell isn't enough justification for any amount of money. Your humanity is worth more than that.
Yeah.
And even though life was so difficult and it seemed like the end of the path, there were good things to look to because the sun kept shining every day. You know, and
I hate this game.
it's fucking horrible. I hate this movie. I hate this series. It took everything away from me.
So what's the ultimate?
So
What was the point?
Years pass. And nothing's changed for Jinhan. He's still absolutely destroyed, tormented, and living in the same way. Because when he goes back home, he now has 45 million, billion won. His mother has died. His best friend dead. Everyone died. He's absolutely empty. And a year passes and he gets a card with the symbol again. Meet in the 7th floor of this building at this time. And he goes in and it's the old man in a bed, like with IVs, and he's dying. And he makes the realization, it's like, you motherfucker, it was you who made me play this stupid game, and it was you who sets up this game, you prick. And then Ilnam is a bit different because he said, I am, like, the tumor thing was true. He wasn't lying. The dementia's true. He says, before I died, I wanted to live again. I wanted to feel like I lived again. I wanted to have fun with my friends. I wanted to make friends. And that's why he decided to play the game and see all the madness and all these dead people. Sick, twisted individual. And that's the answer. That's the fucking answer, dude. What? That's the answer? That's heavily problematic. That's not sufficient. That is nowhere near sufficient. Ilnam dies. But the reason why Ilnam... He didn't choose him to win, but he explains why Jihan wins. He says, because you maintained your humanity. You're different to all of us, basically. And then he goes and he takes care of Sam Byoks, the girl's brother. He was in an office. She's from North Korea. She's a defector. That's why she's playing the game. She needs money to try and bring her mother in. And it was very cool to know her story. Because that's probably the most realistic aspect of all this, her actual story. Because we know now that that's genuinely true with what people are going through in North Korea. He gets his crap together and he changes his hair. He starts dressing well. And he's going to get his life sorted. He's going to the USA. Because he has a daughter. And he's divorced. And he's trying to get that back together. He is on the train station in which the first person who introduces him to the game, he sees someone else going through the same thing that he was. And he stops it. He's like, don't you dare play that game. Don't you play that game. And he gets the card. And now it's a different number. And he calls it. And he said, you motherfuckers, I'm going to come get you. I'm going to kill you.
Right.
And that's the end. And they're like, mate, get on the plane. We know you're on the way to a plane. It's best for you. But apart from that, yeah, it's a great show, isn't it? It's very full of happiness. It's lovely. As a matter of fact, I feel like I deserve to live. Even though you don't when you watch this thing. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's absolute horseshit. It's garbage. I hated it, but it's such a well made series, dude. It was not a pleasant experience. However,
I feel like the sun has gone out.
Yeah.
There's only darkness.
Do you feel what I feel? Yeah. Absolutely insane production. Brilliantly casted. Couldn't have picked anyone better, I don't think. It had consequence, which is my problem with a lot of, especially in the series world nowadays. They decided to take a realistic approach. These are obviously the series you don't want to watch because it makes you realize as well the utter darkness of humanity, and then you start to understand why humanity has gone through so much darkness and the horrible things that we as people have done.
I'm glad I didn't watch that.
Yeah, no, you would have cried like a baby, dude. It was. I don't even think I'm doing it fairness because this show, it's not like a review. It's more like my thoughts.
Yeah, as it happened.
And then coming to a conclusion. The conclusion is absolute fucking horseshit. I don't want to live. That is the conclusion. But it's an excellent series.
Excellent.
Just know that this is the best dark concept of true human darkness of the year. You realize how mortal you are and how vulnerable you are, and everyone's against everyone, and interesting concepts of equality and points of view, perspectives. It's all an illusion. That's what you learn, and I like the approach they took because there's true equality doesn't exist. The fuck? We're not the same, idiot.
Okay, ouch.
You know?
All right.
Yeah. But they knew that, and they know it's a twisted game.
Mm.
Goodbye.